You ever notice how somebody can chase you for weeks, text you nonstop, act completely obsessed with you, and then the second you finally show you care back, everything changes? The replies get colder, the energy shifts, the excitement disappears. And suddenly you're sitting there confused thinking, wait, wasn't this what they wanted? That feeling messes with people emotionally because it feels unfair. You finally open up. You finally stop acting guarded. You finally show genuine love and effort. And somehow that's the exact moment they pull away. But here's the truth nobody explains correctly. People do not lose interest because you care. They lose interest because of what often happens psychologically after someone starts caring too much. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand the real psychology behind why people lose interest in relationships, why overvalidation kills attraction, and how emotionally healthy people keep attraction alive without playing games. And trust me, the final point is probably the exact mistake ruining most modern relationships. Why people lose interest is really about love. The biggest misunderstanding in dating is believing love automatically creates attraction. It doesn't. Love and attraction are connected, but they are not the same thing. Attraction depends heavily on emotional dynamics. At the beginning of most relationships, there's uncertainty, there's curiosity, there's emotional tension. Both people are trying to impress each other. Both people are investing effort, and effort creates value. That's important. Because human beings naturally value things they feel they had to earn. Think about it. A free concert ticket feels nice, but a ticket you waited 3 hours online to buy feels emotionally valuable. Why? Because effort increases emotional investment, and relationships work the exact same way. But here's where things start going wrong. The moment one person becomes emotionally overavailable, the dynamic changes. Suddenly there's no challenge, no mystery, no emotional movement, and this is where attraction quietly starts fading. Not because caring is unattractive, but because predictability without balance lowers emotional excitement. That's one of the biggest relationship psychology truths nobody talks about. The dangerous side of overvalidation in relationships. Now this next part might surprise you. Most people think constant reassurance strengthens attraction. But too much validation without emotional balance often creates the opposite effect. This is called overvalidation in relationships. It happens when one person starts giving unlimited attention, praise, reassurance, and emotional access without requiring emotional investment back. And psychologically, this changes perceived value. Because when somebody feels they already completely have you, they stop feeling urgency. The excitement disappears. Imagine watching a TV show where you already know every single plot twist before the episode starts. Would you binge watch it? Probably not, because uncertainty keeps humans emotionally engaged. And no, this does not mean you should manipulate people or play toxic games. That's not the point. The point is emotional balance. Healthy attraction needs individuality. Healthy attraction needs emotional rhythm. Healthy attraction needs space to breathe. But when someone turns into non-stop validation 24/7, attraction starts feeling emotionally flat. And this is exactly why people lose interest after intense emotional overgiving. Why being too available is unattractive here. Where most people make a massive mistake. The second they fall for someone, they abandon their own life. They stop focusing on their goals. They stop hanging out with friends. They become available every second of the day. Instant replies. Constant check-ins, unlimited emotional access. At first, this can feel romantic, but over time it creates emotional pressure, and pressure kills attraction, because confidence is attractive. Purpose is attractive. Self-respect is attractive, but emotional dependency feels heavy. Nobody wants to feel responsible for another person's emotional stability. That's why needy behavior in dating pushes people away. Not because the person is evil, not because caring is wrong, but because emotional dependency removes freedom. And attraction grows best where there's emotional freedom. This is one of the biggest emotional attachment mistakes people make. They confuse closeness with constant availability. But healthy closeness still allows individuality. The psychology behind perceived value. Now let's talk about perceived value psychology, because this explains almost everything. Human beings unconsciously value things that feel meaningful, earned, or limited. That's true for money, social status, friendships, and relationships. If someone feels like they can lose you, they naturally pay more attention. But if they feel like no matter what happens you'll always stay, always chase, always tolerate everything, emotional urgency disappears. And this is where many relationships silently die. Not through cheating, not through arguments, but through emotional certainty without appreciation. This is why people value what they can lose. It's basic psychology. Humans adapt quickly to constant access. That's why expensive things eventually feel normal. That's why exciting jobs become routine. That's why non-stop attention eventually loses emotional impact. The brain normalizes certainty, and when attraction loses emotional tension entirely, interest starts fading naturally. Why chasing makes people pull away, and this is where things get interesting. The more desperately someone chases, the more emotional pressure the other person feels. Think about the energy behind chasing. It usually comes from fear of abandonment, fear of losing connection, fear of not being enough, and people can feel that energy, even if nobody says it out loud. When every text message feels emotionally loaded, when every interaction feels like a test for reassurance, relationships stop feeling exciting. They start feeling emotionally exhausting. And this is why chasing makes people lose interest, because attraction cannot survive under emotional pressure forever. Healthy attraction grows through mutual choice, not emotional desperation. And this is where most people misunderstand the phrase, "stop chasing in relationships." It doesn't mean stop caring. It means stop abandoning your self-respect trying to secure love. That difference changes everything. Why emotional independence feels magnetic. Now compare that energy to someone emotionally grounded. Someone who cares deeply about you but still has their own purpose, their own life, their own goals, their own emotional stability. Those people feel incredibly attractive. Why? Because emotional independence creates safety without pressure. You know they love you, but you also know their entire identity does not depend on your validation. That energy feels calm, confident, secure, and ironically, emotionally independent people often receive more attention naturally because they don't radiate desperation. This is how to keep attraction alive long-term. Not through manipulation, not through pretending not to care, but through emotional self-respect. Healthy relationships are built between two complete people, not two emotionally starving people trying to survive through each other. Stop confusing attention with real connection. This next point is one of the most important. Constant communication is not the same thing as emotional intimacy. A lot of people think texting nonstop means the relationship is deep. But quantity of attention does not equal quality of connection. You can text somebody every minute and still feel emotionally disconnected. And you can spend one meaningful hour with somebody and feel deeply connected. Because real emotional connection comes from depth, shared experiences, honest conversations, trust, respect, growth. But when people panic about losing someone, they often replace emotional depth with non-stop attention. And eventually that attention becomes noise, predictable, routine, emotionally flat. This is why being too available is unattractive over time. Not because availability itself is bad, but because relationships need rhythm. There needs to be moments of connection and moments of individuality. That emotional balance keeps attraction alive. Caring versus clinging. Let's clear something up right now. Caring is healthy. Clinging is fear disguised as love. Caring says, "I appreciate you." Clinging says, "I need you to make me feel okay." And emotionally healthy people can feel the difference instantly. One feels peaceful, the other feels emotionally heavy. This is why emotional neediness ruins relationships even when intentions are pure. Because attraction struggles to survive when individuality disappears. The healthiest relationships happen when both people choose each other freely, not because they're emotionally trapped. Not because they're terrified of being alone, but because they genuinely enhance each other's lives. And this is where mature love becomes different from emotional dependency. Mature love gives freedom. Dependency creates pressure. That distinction changes relationships completely. How to keep attraction alive naturally. So what should you actually do instead? First, stop making one person your entire emotional universe. Keep your routines, Keep your goals, keep your friendships, keep building yourself. Because the most attractive people are not the people constantly begging for attention. They're the people who already have fulfillment within themselves. Second, stop over-validating every second. Not every conversation needs reassurance. Not every silence means something is wrong. Not every delayed reply means rejection. Emotionally secure people do not panic over normal space. And finally, understand this. The goal is not to make people chase you. The goal is to create healthy emotional balance. That's how long-term attraction actually survives, not through games. Not through manipulation, not through pretending not to care, but through confidence, emotional independence, and mutual respect. So remember the question from the beginning. Why do people lose interest after you show you care? Usually, it's not because the care itself was wrong. It's because somewhere along the way, the care turned into over-validation, emotional dependency, or loss of self. And attraction struggles to survive where individuality disappears. The people who keep healthy relationships long-term are not the people who love the hardest. They're the people who know how to love deeply without abandoning themselves. If this video helped you understand why people pull away after emotional attachment, then you'll definitely want to watch the next video, where I break down the psychology behind why emotionally unavailable people seem so attractive in the first place. And if you enjoy videos about relationship psychology, emotional intelligence, and modern dating behavior, make sure you like the video and subscribe, because the next video might explain something you've been confused about for years.